Shade 45 is the homie Gray Rizzy in the building. Let me tell you something. You know, I have a lot of guests that come through. I have a lot of family that comes through, but it's rare that I have a family member that I feel indebted to, and I know he's not going to say, no, you're not indebted to me. But if it wasn't for this guy, I will never not stop telling this story. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I'll get into it later. Royce the 5'9" is here.
Yeah.
My brother, what's up, man?
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, man. Always a pleasure.
Always
a pleasure.
It is. I think the last time we caught up with each other was in Atlanta. PRhyme.
Okay. Yeah,
A3C.
Yep.
Shut shit down.
It was cool. It was cool. We had fun.
That was like one of the because we didn't, you know, obviously, unfortunately, Premier's father passed away, so we didn't get to see more of those dates and stuff like that. But for you guys to see that love and to see that energy and stuff like that, I don't always like to assume that it's expected. I kind of expected it, but what was your impression of it? The energy.
Never expected. I mean, because you know we involved in a ever evolving climate, I guess you could say. So you never know what you're going to encounter.
This is true.
When you got like a bill with so many different kinds of artists on there. Who we had? JID.
JID was on there.
Who else did
there
we
was
have?
Throughout the weekend, Dipset was there.
It was pretty.
Lil Wayne was there.
It was pretty spread out even that day. So you know, you never know like with those kinds of crowds what you're going to encounter. So you know, it wasn't expected. But it was definitely appreciated. Yeah, well received.
I always wonder when when there's younger artists and in that particular showcase, that festival, it's like a rappers festival. Like they embrace, they're not just like every day, like, you know, I just happen to like this beat, I don't really listen to hip hop. You know, they're not that person. They know their shit. So I expected them to really appreciate it, but it was like the energy was like on 10-10.
Yeah, it was
out there for you guys.
It was a real creative atmosphere. You could tell it was a lot of creative people in the audience, a lot of artists, aspiring artists. Right. And it takes me back to like the open mic days. You know, my favorite time to perform. You know, back in the day, like when I was like 17, 18 years old, when I was still trying to just feel things out and getting gonged at the hip hop shop and eventually going to the Ebony Showcase and receiving that love and finally feeling a part of something. And I remember that being like the trigger that made me want to just continue to do it. You know, like that was like a make or break moment, you know, on whether I was going to pursue this or not, like that.
Those are those spots where you eat or you get eaten. Yeah. So you got to learn real quick.
It's like God tests you. He puts it in front of you. You can either knock the pins down or you can just pick another path.
Right. All right. Good stuff, man. I want to do this real quick. I do want to ask you this question, and I mentioned it to Royce before he came in, and the new video for Cocaine. I'm looking at it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, this is a dope video. And first I was like, why the fuck he got a Hawks jersey on? And I thought about it. Oh, Steve Smith. Okay, I get it. But I'm looking at the video, and yo, fam, I'm not even going to lie to you. You know, I try to be transparent and real with you as anytime we get together. It's deeper than rap. I felt something, and I almost started crying. And I'm going to explain to you why. Like, my father wasn't really there. It was more reverse with my mom. Unfortunately, my mother isn't here anymore. But I'm looking at it. Drug issues, you know, stuff like that, and getting clean. And I was like, damn, I'm almost envious of this story because your father turned it around in rehab. Have you heard other stories like that? And when I say this, like, anybody that's listening, I am dead ass. Like, I was looking at it and I almost started crying.
You know what's crazy, man? I think those kinds of records, I think they, if you are one of those people who you're able to feel, you know, when you listen to music, which I think that's one of the things that music is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel something. It's supposed to jog your memory to times in your life and just make you think, be thought-provoking. That's what poetry is. That's what art is to me, in my mind. So I've had a lot of people come to the studio, like when I first finished the album and I played the album for them. I had a couple people cry in the studio. Grown men listen to that song and cry. And it's not because their dad or mom had a drug issue, but it made them think of something in their past. You know what I mean? And us as black people, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say black people because growing up, we didn't have therapy as an option at all. Like we didn't have a means to get a lot of these feelings that we have out. You know, suppressed feelings is like a big thing in our culture, in our community. So I will watch my dad like do crazy things at 11 p.m. And then, you know, like 11 a.m. the next morning, it's like we all sitting at the breakfast table like nothing happened. Not to ever be discussed again. Ever be discussed again. You know, so they finally come up 30 years later, you know, and it's like it forces everybody to kind of look at it and deal with it.
Right.
So, you know, whatever emotion is there comes out.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I was suppressing so many feelings until I started going to therapy, until I started talking about these things. And then I started to realize how these things affected me and why, you know, I started to drink. I thought I started to drink just recreational, but no.
There was a lot of
Way deeper
stuff that was there.
Yeah.
Got you, man. You know what I want to do? I want to get to this song. And, you know, I am very much telling you, I really want you guys to go see this video if you haven't already. If you have, go fucking watch it again. But you got to listen to the song right now. Introduce it to our people.
This one is called Cocaine off my album, Book of Ryan. This is Royce the 5'9". Thank you guys for the support. Check it out.
It's Gray Rizzy. We out here. Whoa.